Okay, so I bought one of these wonderful Harbor Freight single stage air compressor pumps. And if you're watching this video, you are probably looking at this concoctive bullshit fitting and thread setup they have here for you to try to hook into your tank. First thing you do with this, throw the bitch out. And I'm going to show you the best way to deal with this if you're in the United States or Canada, where you don't have to try and find a refrigerator. That's what this is, refrigeration for like air conditioning crap fittings. So what they did do, if you take this apart, what you'll find, what they did at least do, is this fitting that comes out of the head, this here, just good old standard pipe thread. You can see that turns right in there. This is just old check valve, 3/4 inch pipe thread. This is old check valve that came off my well. See, that thread's in there just nice. I'm not going to use this. I'm just using this as an example to show you that the threads that come out of the heads are 3/4 inch. So you could do away with this whole crazy apparatus they have and just come off here with an elbow, a 3/4 inch, or yeah, 3/4 inch standard pipe elbow, and then come into a T and then go down to your tank with all 3/4 inch, and then reduce it down to 1/2 inch, which is what I would have to do for my setup, and then just do away with all this crazy Chinese, Taiwanese bullshit they got on here, and it should work fine. I will update when I get to that stage. I got to do some reverse engineering on this, as far as I need the T to be on this side, because this is going on my compressor tank and motor. This would be the side that the pulley's on, and I need it to come off of here to go down to my tank, not this side like they have it. So I'm going to switch all this around anyways, but I've got to run up to the hardware store and get 3/4 inch plumbing parts that come out of here to a T here. Might even throw a union in here just for good measure. Okay, I'm back from the hardware store. I picked up a connector there, an elbow, a piece of 9-inch pipe, a union, another short fitting, and a T, and a short nubby stub to screw into that head, because obviously if you look, this head is further that way, this head is back a little bit. So now that's all plumbed. I got this on. I was worried that was rubbing, but it's not. There is just a very fine amount of clearance there. Thought about pulling this wheel off, maybe taking my grinder and flushing that off a little on this nut here on this union, because if you look, there's it's clear. I mean, this is free and everything, but if that bearing down there ever gets down here, the bearing down there ever gets a little wobble in it, where this does one of these numbers, it might interfere with this plumbing here. But I don't know. I might pull this off and take the grinder and just take a smidgen off of there and call it good. But anyways, that's that. There's the Taiwanese parts that came with, not that, but this and this crazy nut, which that's a refrigerant fitting, 3/4 inch refrigerant fitting. So unless you know a friend that is in the Havoc refrigeration business, you're going to play hell to find that fitting. That's why I just said converted all over to 3/4 inch pipe because the heads are milled for 3/4 inch. Why they put that on there is just beyond me. But anyways, but if you're watching this video, like I said, that's the best way I found to convert this over for my setup. And I had to make sure that I'm coming off this side because of the way my tank setup is. Because I'm putting this, retrofitting this onto a Coleman air compressor, former air compressor, I guess you could say. Okay, so I've got this thing all mounted up onto my tank here. Like I said, I had a Coleman tank and motor, and what happened, the head blew out on it. So they wanted more parts to rebuild that compressor head than it would have been just to buy this from Harbor Freight. Like I said, I converted everything over to 3/4 inch pipe all the way through. And then as I came down, put in a few unions, a couple bends. There's the elbow there. Reduced it down to 1/2 inch because that's what my tank accepts. Put a union, came in, union. There's a check valve down there that lets it push the air into the tank, but not to bleed back once it kicks off, so don't back bleed into the cylinders. She ran it right up to 100 pounds perfectly. And it's not very loud. I was impressed. It's all wired in off the pressure switch here. And she's good to go. So again, if you want to eliminate trying to find the fitting, just wire it in or plumb it in with 3/4 inch pipe nipples, you know, pipe thread, and then reduce it down to whatever size you need. Maybe you're blessed enough that your tank takes a 3/4, you just run it right through straight, not have to reduce it all. But the critical part is you got to have that check valve that's down there that allows the air to go into the tank but not bleed back up through the compressor cylinders.